Hey, this is Power Card, aka Project Pat, and you're listening to the Baltimore Beatdown Podcast, the best Ravens podcast on the planet.
That's pretty incredible. In fact, it's LaMarvelous.
Thank you, guys.
All right, welcome on back to another edition of the Baltimore Beatdown Podcast. It is Friday, February 12th. My name is Jake Luke. I'm joined by Spencer Nathaniel Schultz, whose studio setup is really coming together there. Feeling major February vibes on this one, not gonna lie.
February.
Here we are. I mean, it's February 12th. The big game is in the rearview mirror. We have the offseason on the horizon. Don't know how it's going to look entirely. You have the combine not going to be held, traditionally as it is right around the corner. So not really sure what to look forward to. Not sure what to do with my hands. March Madness is, I think, just going to be in Indianapolis. That's in an interesting spot. Major season is around the corner for golf, so we'll see what happens sports wise. But right now, I'm feeling a little weird. I'll admit it.
I'm feeling a little froggy. Basketball is getting kicked in. I'm like a huge LaMelo Ball guy. I somewhat pledged my allegiance to the Denver Nuggets last year. I'm still hanging in there. Still a little bit of a Nug thug. I'm enjoying the Wizards a bit. Bradley Beal's been fun. I'm excited. I haven't paid a lick of attention to college basketball. Least attention I've paid to college basketball maybe in my life. Don't know. Couldn't name 15 players in all of college basketball right now. Not feeling that one. But yeah, it's a weird time. The post Super Bowl, kind of nothing crazy important going on. But we'll get it started. Draft season upon us. Free agency in a couple weeks. The NFL news cycle doesn't stop. And even in a week that might be, a little bit boring, it's like not, because it's constant Orlando Brown chitter chatter, Carson Wentz otherwise, David Carr, Russell Wilson rumors getting floated around. It's a little chit chat, little games of telephone going on. Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero getting their little quarterback tweets out, and, they should trade this for that kind of crap that, gets people really freaking fired up for no reason. I love it, but it's also hilarious at the same time. So here we are.
It's always funny watching and this probably happens with every team, I would assume, but sort of watching the local discourse going on around, and like when your fans and like you specifically and like whoever are all plugged in on the news, and then it gets picked up by the national media. So like Rappaport goes live with the Orlando Brown has requested a trade, and like Twitter starts to blow up, and it's like, yeah, well, if you've been following the context clues, which are like out there like freaking breadcrumbs for Hansel and Gretel, it's not that hard to find. You could tell that this was kind of percolating, but just kind of a funny dynamic that exists there.
It's fun, and the news cycle doesn't stop. It's been a couple days since the Super Bowl, and Josina Anderson is like, she tweeted something along the lines of like, pretty quiet out there, isn't it? Or something like, quiet right now, as in, Deshaun Watson, superstar quarterback, huge name, like that's been going on. Russell Wilson getting floated, or like Jared Goff Matt Stafford and Jared Goff just got traded too. Like the quarterback carousel already freaking started. And here we are like, well, it's pretty quiet out there. Like, yeah, it's been a couple days, man. It's going to get going again. God bless the NFL.
God bless the NFL. God bless football, as Peyton Manning would say. I know everyone was really fond of that, but yeah, it's fun. I think the Orlando Brown stuff, I guess we should touch on that a little bit, that it has officially come out. It sounds like he is pretty much as good as going, as we were pretty much saying last time, but the Rappaport thing did come out. And it sounds like he's ready to rock and roll. And the specific wording was that the Ravens are going to be expecting a massive haul back for him. It sounds like they are amenable to move him, but nothing concrete has started percolating quite yet.
Whatever, get some fresh blood in. The interesting part for me is, and I think it was in a PFF article today that I didn't realize this, if a player sits out training camp or sits out a season, they then cannot become a unrestricted free agent the following offseason. So hypothetically, Orlando Brown doesn't find a trade destination, or Ravens aren't getting compensation they want back. He sits out. He's going to be a restricted free agent, and that would basically allow the Ravens to put a first-round tender on him, match anything that anyone puts on him. It'll drive his value down a good bit, as teams will have to throw him a boat and, throw that first-round pick out there. So if that were to happen, if the Ravens don't get compensation, which feels unlikely, the Ravens are so accommodating. We had Sarah Ellison on. She's, we spent 30 minutes talking about how they want to give players their opportunities and, help them live their best lives and everything. So appreciate that part of it, but it's, it is what it is at this point. And just kind of seeing, the general gauge of Chargers fans, the ones that actually, maybe they're bots, I'm not sure, but they do exist out there, and they're like loving the idea of parting with the 13th overall to get Orlando Brown. I think that makes sense because Justin Herbert is kicking. You got Keenan Allen, you got, some pieces there, and go get some more in free agency, go get some more in the draft, and throw that 13th overall, maybe a third or fourth rounder this year or next year, and there you go, bing, bang, boom. Like I said, I think Orlando Brown's a good player. I think he was a little out of shape to start the year this year, then really rounded out into form. He liked pushing off that right foot and playing left tackle, so here we are, and it's going to be weird, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I kind of threw out on Twitter today that put a little thread together that, like, I do get it. Like, at this point, I think maybe I had my fan glasses on and I was doing like X, Y, and Z to like justify why he should stay or why he's making the wrong decision. I still don't know if it entirely is the right one, but ultimately what it comes down to for me is that he's a proud guy from a proud family. He wants something. He's young. He has plenty of time and ability to go and achieve it. And, it's kind of like I likened it to coordinators. Like, I would get a little scoffy and a little like people would say like, oh, why would Wink and Roman take a head coaching job? Like they have a perfect situation here. And I was like, well, they have a goal that they want to achieve, and that's to be a head coach. And I kind of likened it to this. Like, if his goal is to go be a left tackle, then, letting perfect be the enemy of good is not going to be a thing that's going to stand in his way. He's just going to go do what he has to do to become a left tackle. And right now is the time to do it, with left tackle tape being fresh on everyone's mind, him playing the position pretty well this past year. It's a time for him to go do it. So if that's what he wants to do, like Sarah said, go for it, bro.
I wanted to play center field for the Yankees, not right field.
Okay.
I don't know. To each his own. Absolutely. Go do what you want to do. But I'm just like, all right, okay, play left tackle. Doesn't register in my head. Not me, different man, not me, not my brain. But obviously we're not the same person. So Orlando Brown, go do what you want to do, man. More power to you. If you want to freaking go to Mars, go to Mars. If you want to live under a bridge, live under a bridge. Live your best life. Go get it. And if it nets the Ravens a first and a third, I'm all about that. So
now starting at left tackle for the Miami Dolphins for left-handed quarterback, number 2, Orlando Brown Jr. Number 2.
Derek Brown Jr.
That needs to happen. He needs to go protect Tua's non-blindside.
Jacksonville, 25-33. I like that one. That would be quite a haul, it feels like, in one draft. But something. Let's screw it. Like, let's give the Ravens 2 first-round picks this year. That'll be the most fun draft season ever. Like
all the yeah, it will be. They haven't had like 2 first-rounders in a good long while too, so it'll be fun to go
since
back. And
what Kyle? Since I guess they've traded up.
2018 when they traded into the first round.
They did that with Kyle Bowler as well. They drafted Suggs.
Bowler and Suggs 1 year, yeah.
I don't think they've ever had 2 first-round picks. I don't think they've ever traded a player for a first-round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so. No,
nothing crosses my mind there. But yeah, let's do it. It's COVID's still going down. We're bored. Give us 2 first-round picks. Let me get deep up in that tape and start going mock drafts 15 hours a day. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. March, post free agency. Let's go. I'm excited.
Speaking of let's go, you're excited. Do you want to open the mailbag?
Let's cut that bad boy open. Letter opener.
7. Twitter or Instagram first?
Let's go Twitter.
Okay. Jordan. He opens with an absolute heater. Lamar decides to pull a Michael Jordan and retires to play baseball. What is your offseason plan to get a good quarterback in 2021? First of all, what position is he playing in baseball? Outfield?
Shortstop.
Okay.
Outfield.
I feel like it would have to be like Mookie.
Center fielder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's covering a lot of range. Yeah.
He's covering grass.
Quarterback that's an interesting one.
If I need a quarterback, I will sell the farm for Justin Fields, especially if Zach Wilson. I'm willing to lay down some bets that Justin Fields is the second quarterback off the board, first of all. And second of all, if the Ravens need one, I am enamored with Justin Fields. I absolutely love him, and I would sell the farm to get Justin Fields. First, 2 firsts, 3 firsts, whatever. 2 firsts and a second. I don't care. Justin Fields, go get him. Other than that,
there's a lot of guys available, like on the market.
Trade the farm for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I mean that's how you don't skip a beat, really. I mean, you go and get like a very similar type of player.
Yeah, I think they're a little different, but yeah, it's in terms of the dynamism that they bring to the table and the exciting playmakers, and they played against each other. They're both mobile, whatever. I've professed my love for Deshaun Watson. I absolutely have been in love with Deshaun Watson as a quarterback as long as he was at Clemson. Huge Deshaun guy. Was utterly shocked when you see Mitchell Trubisky go ahead of him, when you see Watson not really going at the top of the first round. Didn't see anything that would make you think that he's not anything but a capable quarterback. And bridge guys. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, I wouldn't despise. I don't hate Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that he gets this weird criticism because he's not like a world beater for Kyle Shanahan and his like.
He got way overhyped when he was first starting out, even going back to his Patriots days, and I think that's kind of being held against him a little bit now. Which that's just kind of the way it goes, and like unfortunately, it wasn't really his fault that he got overhyped. I don't think, but it's a weird test case.
He did get overhyped, and he kind of had a lot of pressure put on him and a lot of expectations, and it was, I mean, maybe the most ridiculous quarterback deal of all time, like with playing a few games and then becoming the highest paid quarterback at one point, I believe, and going there, having that. Kyle Shanahan has a quarterback friendly offense, but there's a lot of gadgety wrinkles and things that are like sleight of hand and misdirection and counter and stuff like that. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the Ravens offense a little bit. Shanahan's offense is definitely schemes guys open more and whatever, but I don't hate Jimmy G. If you can get him like cheap, yeah, I like that. I like Jimmy G. I think he moves in the pocket really well, has some good touch. I don't hate Jimmy G. I like him better than Goff. I like Jimmy G better than I like Goff.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take, especially in today's NFL, and for an offense like this, Jimmy G moving around a little bit would be nice. Justin Fields, get some Dak vibes from him. I like Dak a lot. I like Justin Fields a lot from what I've seen so far. Maybe a little bit of a Dak Deshaun Watson kind of hybrid I've seen from him on TV so far. I need to dive into his tape a little bit further from a deeper perspective.
I don't hate the Dak analogy at all. I don't hate that at all, or comparison, because both of them are. I don't think Justin Fields' accuracy is underrated at this point, but I think Dak Prescott's is a lot. And Justin Fields can throw a ball in a bucket 45 yards out over and over again. Love his ball placement.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of options. I think like it's a fun exercise, but it's one that's kind of tough to think through all the way, especially right now. But the fact that some dominoes have already fallen is kind of crazy. Like the big one, I guess, was probably Stafford. The fact that he's already gone is kind of like makes it a little bit weird, but
my ultimate pipe dream, if Justin Fields isn't possible, would actually be completely and utterly tank and get DJ Uiagalelei next year. I like Clemson quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence. I think is obviously great. Whatever. I don't have some outlier take on Trevor Lawrence, but DJ Uiagalelei, that's my boy.
I was gonna say we're gonna find out next after the break why Spenny thinks that Trevor Lawrence should not go number 1 overall. We just turned into a total shock jock program. But yeah, it's a fun exercise for sure. And I do like the idea of him going to play baseball, especially he shaved the hair
That
today.
did not happen. That did not happen.
Really?
That was an old video.
Was it?
Yeah. He posted after, and it was like, gotcha. And it was him like pulling on his braids still at like Best Buy.
He's just like he's running.
He shaved his head like his rookie year.
Yeah,
I think it was a video from then.
I thought he had like an afro his rookie year.
It grew out, but like if you look at his stock photo, his roster picture, he just has like a stonk photo. He has a buzz cut.
Okay. Yeah. Well, his off seasons are very, very fascinating. He's like walking around doing cereal reviews and faking like cutting his hair. What a life that guy leads.
His general attitude like of just having fun is just the best.
Must be nice, man. Like I wish I was like that.
He just like has fun, laughs, laughs at stupid stuff. His freaking brother Pork Chop is incredibly hilarious. Everyone loves him. He is like he had like a little viral. He was like a little sensation among NFL athletes for a little while too. With some funny videos of him.
Yeah, that dude is something else. That whole crew is. What's going on?
I unlocked my phone and somehow the intro was playing and I just locked it back up. Let's keep going. Let's keep the mailbag going.
New intro coming soon, probably.
Oh.
Kalen, Jonathan Adams Jr., Tamori Terry, or Nico Collins. I've only watched Terry. I like his game. He's kind of reminds me though of just like a meaner Miles Boykin, which is great, but like I just don't know if I need another one of those right now.
You said Terry?
Yeah, Tamori Terry, Jonathan Adams Jr. or Nico Collins. A lot of people like Nico Collins. I haven't checked him out yet.
Jonathan Adams Jr. is sailing under the radar quite a bit. He had some big time performances at Arkansas State. Nico Collins, I'm really struggling with his evaluation a lot. He didn't play this year. I've been watching a lot of Jalen Mayfield. I've been on him for like 3 days now. His team.
Relation to Baker?
No relation to Baker. But I've been I really struggle with Nico Collins. He doesn't sink well out of like comebacks or hitches, but he sinks really well like laterally at times. I think he's smart against zone, just understands spacing, can read leverage well and things like that. Good over the middle of the field, 90-10 guy. Like he goes up and freaking gets the ball. I don't love his ability to get off of press. I think a Marlon Humphrey could stuff him at the line of scrimmage. I think Marlo or Jimmy could stuff him, like completely negate him at the line of scrimmage right now. He needs a little bit of a runway to get going, but then he just like turns it on all of a sudden and truly will go moss people and super impressive. Makes like not even contested catches, but just tight window throws, great hands. Okay after the catch. Weird eval for me right now. He's going to be one that I struggle with for a while. Him and Sage Surratt both, to be honest. I've only watched I covered a few Arkansas State games, and JAJ is going to be a fun late riser that I don't think people have caught on to yet. But of those three, I'm going to go Tamori Terry. I feel like he has ridiculous upside. He reminds me kind of like Preston Williams with a little bit more speed. Great
frame, I will say. And he uses it well too. He's a great blocker. He's a badass. I'm intrigued by him. I feel like I don't really know Florida State's QB situation. I feel like it wasn't great.
Horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yeah, so that's kind of a tough eval sometimes. But here's this Nico Collins gentleman.
See, once he gets a runway, Nico Collins can run away from a defense. He just doesn't have that initial burst or acceleration. But then again, time after time, he is a rebounder. He's a power forward. Like, if the Ravens don't get a receiver and end up getting him in the third round and, whatever, I guess early in the third, some sort of trade up, trade down scenario or something, I think he's right around there. I'm not shocked if he becomes like Did you mention him or Tamori and Terry being the Boykin?
Tamori and Terry.
I could see Collins filling what you wanted Boykin to be. And we've talked countless times about how Boykin is that point forward type, the finesse big man kind of. But ultimately, Nico Collins is just a slam dunker. And that's what they need. That's what they want. So he could develop a little bit, hopefully, with the addition of some coaches that came in, Mr. Keith Williams, Mr. T. Martin. Everyone's very excited for them. And yeah, so out of those three, I think I'm going to go Terry, though. Terry is the most fluid with the size, can do the jump ball stuff, can run after the catch. I think he has crazy upside, and I think you can get him a little tiny bit later in the draft, possibly. I think maybe people just aren't high on him yet, but
yeah, we talk about like stuff you can't teach with guys a lot, and he does have a lot of stuff you can't teach. Like he gets in guys' asses and he's like yelling and like throwing his arms around and shit. I like that. Yes. Stuart Shock says, I've been watching the NFL all-time team this week. My question, have you ever had someone look at you the way Bill Belichick looks at Ed Reed? And I actually pulled up a little clip for him to discuss that.
Here today. You're the best free safety that's ever played this game, and I've seen. You're awesome. The play you made on that out pattern last week, middle of the field making a play on an out cut. Give me a break. Look like the Pro Bowl. All right, good seeing you, buddy.
The way that he like leans into him and he's like smiling like a little schoolgirl. I always like that clip. So I was glad that he kind of brought that back to my attention to play on this today. I think Belichick fawned over Ed Reed more than we did.
Definitely, and you could kind of hear the Annapolis come out of him. He's like the best free safety. Like you heard the voice a little bit.
Yeah, you could. He's just kind of the gazebos are just wafting off of him as he's just like, chatting him up. So yeah, that's always a fun clip. And no, I have not, unfortunately, had
my dog Tupac Tutu. He got a handsome haircut today, and he looks at me like that every single day, every day.
By the way, I meant to ask you about that picture. What was going on? Was he in like an assembly line?
So I took him and I took my mom's two dogs and I just singled him out.
They all look alike, right? Because I feel
one of them is his actual literal brother and the other one is the same breed as him and his brother. So there's three of those fluffy bombas.
Because I was going to say that was a great picture of him, but I saw like the two like just in frame, barely like the legs. I was like, is that the same exact dog? Just like he's just like sitting in a little line. That's pretty cute.
Oh yeah, I had a full photo shoot today. They were in rare form. The oldest one's 15. He just got his teeth pulled, so he's in a rough spot right now.
Yeah, but anyway, for people that have looked at me like that, maybe like my mom, but other than that, probably not.
Marry Luke when she asked Jake to get her some tea.
Yeah, which I have.
Jake brings the tea
because I am a good son.
Good son. Good sons bring tea.
Space Ghost, ideal Zeus trade partner plus package plus targets in the draft. I feel like we've already kind of touched on this a little bit.
Yeah, the options right now. I think that the Colts are a tough one unless they do some kind of weird thing and pick up a quarterback without getting rid of a first-round pick. I don't think they're going to be able to fade that. I would think they try to get a quarterback and then find a left tackle in the draft, something like that. But the Jags would be sweet. A lot of AFC teams involved. The Vikings are a weird one. They might be like about to go 2-14. It feels like Kirk Cousins, another one in the trade rumor mill. They could be doing some weird moves, and Riley Reef is an old boy, and that's been like a rumor one. But yeah, Jags, I love. They've got the first, the 25th. Obviously, you're not getting the first, but the 25th, the 33rd, and then another second round pick. Like if they gave 2 seconds this year, I'm not mad. If got 2 seconds, I'm not mad.
If you get one of the higher ones too, that's like almost basically a first round pick. So
right, and then if you have 27, 33, I think they have 47, something like that. I'm probably wrong there. That's a gassy type, but if you're picking 27, 33, 47, and then 58, that's a pretty good run, and you could probably comfortably move up in the draft if you wanted and go get whoever the guy is. If Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle or Kyle Pitts falls to like 15, 16, you can go strike and not give away your whole draft.
Yeah, totally in agreement with all that. I think we'll probably cover that even more in this episode at one point. So Actually, do got to quickly shout out Bailey, who says he is drunk as hell out in Salisbury. Get some cookout tonight for me, brother.
Cookout.
Yeah, they got to get that up here at some point, man.
Come on, man. Give me a break. Cookout is my stomach has many stocks in Cookout. Like,
oh, my stonks are in Cookout right now. Like, if they had Cookout on Robinhood, if the Lion crooks over at Robinhood would put Cookout stonks on their platform, I would be pumping all my money into it.
We can't have Cookout go public. It'll all of a sudden the milkshakes are like $4.89 and like you can't get a combo for $5. Like you can't get a tray for $5.
Like some delicacy and it's going to cost like $10.
Getting the quesadillas and the wraps for what, $1.49 each is like, I feel like I'm in 1999. Like
it's everything in a bag of chips, except without a bag of chips. But
if you want your loved one to get some junk in the booty, take them to freaking Cookout for like a month straight. And
listen, you got Valentine's Day coming up here. If you got the wherewithal to take a trip down the shore and get some Cookout, fatten that booty up, and have yourself a good weekend.
Like, imagine if there was one in Ocean City too.
That would be dangerous. They would make they'd make a lot of money, Jim. They already fucking clean up in Salisbury. I know that firsthand experience.
I think every single Cookout cleans up. It is
because it's all like
of the United States,
and like college towns, and it's just like, yeah, we're just going to take advantage of the oh, there's Kyle. What's up, buddy? They're just like taking advantage of the college kids. And
if you don't know what we're talking about, and you live in the DMV, in the Maryland, in the Baltimore, somewhere. I mean, I assume if you live in like Virginia or something, once you get below Maryland, you're good to go with Cookout. If you don't know what we're talking about, get on the Cookout train. It is the best restaurant chain in the United States. The best fast food chain in the United States. I will go that far.
It's very good. What's up, Garnet? And then you got, fuck. There, even in like Virginia, you get like Zaxby's down there too, which is pretty.
I've actually nenever been. I've talked about going. I've passed them 1,000 times. Never gone to Zaxby's. Everyone loves it.
William says no free ads. No, we do free ads because we're not in any position to not do free ads. But it's really good. When I lived in South Carolina for a couple of years when I was a kid, and I loved it and like had never had it. And then I don't know if I should be saying this, but during COVID last year, the golf courses in Maryland were closed. So me and the boys loaded up the cars a couple different times and went down to Virginia to play. And we just my brother and I were pulling out of one of the courses, and we saw Zaxby's out of nowhere. We were like, holy shit. We just looked at each other. We were like, we have to go there right now because we haven't been since we were kids. So
heard great things. Zaxby's, Cookout. Go get you some eats if you're bored.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good weekend for it. Eric G. Clark hits us with a PFF mock draft. Those are starting to really get into circulation, by the way. He says, love, hate, like. Christian Darrisaw is his first pick. Joseph Asai, number 2. Quinn Myers, number 3. Deontay Brown, number 4. Emir Smith-Marset, the 5th pick. Tariq Thompson, the 6th pick. Teron Jackson, the last one. So I recognize those first 4 guys, and they're all really good. I love this draft.
So we had Christian Darrisaw, Joseph Asai,
Quinn Myers,
then Teron Jackson was at the end.
No, it was Deontay Brown was after Myers at guard, and then you had Emir Smith-Marset, Tariq Thompson, and Teron Jackson was the last pick.
Teron Jackson is really interesting. He's undersized a bit, but got the juice. Can get after it. Kind of reminds you of a little baby Shaq Barrett, a little bit tinier than Shaq Barrett maybe. But he's got some juice, can chop, can spin, can rip. Curious to see where he goes. He could be at the end of the draft like that. Deontay Brown, I don't like. Not a big fan.
Not a fan.
Doesn't
have the clutch gene.
There's no like bone crushing moments from him. Like
you're trying to crush some bones is what you're doing.
He is a Crimson Tide elephant, gigantic, 360 some odd pounds. I want to see him like ruining people's lives if you're playing at that weight. Does not. But in the 4th round, whatever. Yeah, I guess it's fine. That's not the end of the world. Quinn Miners, fluid athlete. He has some ballerina feet for an offensive lineman.
That was going viral down mini Vi or mega Vi down at the Senior Bowl.
Yes. With the dreads, broke his hand, still played. Broke his finger, still played. Whatever. He is graceful, but also devastating. He can he can anchor off of one foot and use his off foot, usually his inside foot, to kind of mirror the defender and then just reset and move them. Comes downhill like a madman. He took some run at a lot of his run was at center. He played guard in college, if I'm not mistaken. He was pretty much entirely at guard, but center was like are we going to do the whole like guard to center thing again? Please, no, God. Please, God, no. Don't want that.
You have to get a center. Like no more, favorite phrase of mine, no more dicking around. Get a center.
Yeah, it's time. Ryan Jensen, that I've been really like harping on Ryan Jensen.
You've been in your feelings on that one. This is
especially just watching the direction of where the Ravens haven't had like a annoying, overly blocking too long. Like
they haven't had a pest on there in a while.
No, they don't. They haven't had a fucking asshole. They don't have any jerks anymore. Yeah, they don't have any jerks. Like Orlando Brown gets hyped up, and he'll pull and like kick out a linebacker and like be like,
he's more trying to like photo op though. Like he's always looking for the camera. He's not really like.
Yeah, Ronnie Stanley is like a technician and is so good. He's very clean, but like you just miss that Ryan Jensen attitude. And he fears no man. He will throw off a block and go pick up. He will pick up a blitzer or a lineman that comes free, full speed. Sees it out of the back of his head, like has eyes in the back of his head, that stupid cliche phrase, and will just abandon a block and go wreck someone. Just love it. Just love everything about Ryan Jensen. His whole story, where he came from Colorado Pueblo, and him idolizing the other offense. I can't remember his name. There's another successful offensive lineman in the NFL that came from there and basically went through the school of becoming an asshole. And whole great like ESPN story on him. But I've been harping on it. Brandon Williams. Vaz has been on that. We always reference Vaz there. That's been his two big stances basically are Brandon Williams was a horrible series of extensions and running backs don't matter. And then I was just going and looking. I was like, how much does Brandon Williams really play? Didn't play 40 snaps in a single game. I think he had like 3 last year where he crossed the 40 snap threshold. A 1.5, 2.5 down player. And he's getting paid $14 million. He's our third highest cap hit, $14.4 million. Well, I guess that's his cap hit. I think his salary is $7 million, but it's just not ideal having your third highest cap hit that is a pretty substantial one on someone that you really he's a one-trick pony.
Was Earl Thomas correct in trying to fist fight him?
I don't. Earl really was trying to fight everybody, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was trying to do more than fight in some cases.
Yeah, things have just generally not gone well. Like things have not gone well. You re-sign Brandon Williams. He's been good, and everybody was like, "Well, they get run all over when they run to Brandon Williams." It's like, all right, yeah, because they have Brandon Williams and they refuse to like go acquire quality depth, like somebody like Bobby Brown in this draft or Slayton out of Florida or whatever, Shelvin at LSU. Everybody's like idolizing all these guys. Shelby Harris is available in a free agency. They had Michael Pierce, but he, had issues staying in shape and whatever. He kind of was at his best right out of college when he was like a workout machine and then disintegrated a little bit from that, it felt like. And yeah, they get run all over because they don't have any other nose tackles. Jelly Ellis, he's an okay backup. Like he's 50th guy on the team, 48th guy on the team. Like fine, whatever. But yeah, when you don't have anyone who can come in and play adequately, yes, Brandon Williams is going to have drop off, but it's just paying someone who can't rush the passer on defense as a defensive lineman is like paying, someone who can only steal bases in baseball. Like, no.
It's just a little irrelevant. Anna B, in honor of Valentine's Day, play matchmaker for QB free agents and trade candidates.
Matchmaker for QB, receiver, free agent, and trade candidates, right?
She said QB free agents and trade candidates. So I guess we can do whatever we want with the quarterbacks. Yes.
Deshaun Watson to the Jets. I want Deshaun Watson to go to the Jets.
I do too.
I would like that very much so.
I'm ready for the Jets to figure it out.
Me too.
The rec stuff was fun for a while, and then that was, they had a couple competitive teams, but I'm tired of the Jets just being bad. I actually know a couple Jets fans who I like that are becoming insufferably annoying with how negative they are, and
they love their misery. It's like become this whole shtick, and I want it over with.
Yeah, and it's like it's a little too easy to just be the miserable fan. Like you gotta ride the wave a little bit. But to be fair, they haven't had a wave to really ride. So let's get them on that Deshaun Watson wave. I like that. What other openings are there? So you got got
Carson Wentz is in the mix.
That's Bears all the way. He's going to the Bears.
The Colts are apparently offering 2 seconds for Carson Wentz to reunite him with Reich.
So the initial baseline the Eagles set was 2 firsts, which obviously is not going to happen. I don't know. I just feel like Ryan Pace is the master of negotiating against himself. And like he's going to give up whatever it takes to beat himself in these negotiations and get Carson Wentz on the Bears, where he will promptly flame out and they'll go 6-10 again.
That's fine. Yeah, Matt Nagy's hanging on by a thread. Like has a ridiculous defense, has not fit. He's like a lesser Brian Billick. Like the offensive guru comes in and just has to rely on his defense the entire duration of his existence as their head coach. Then we got if we're playing matchmaker, this is me having fun. Do whatever you want. I want Derek Carr and a first-round pick sent to Seattle for Russell Wilson. I want Russell Wilson with John Gruden. That is like the 2 most like cliche guys possible. I want them. I want Vegas baby Russ. I want Sierra.
That was a good QB camp back in 2012.
Yes, I want Sierra in Vegas. I want all of that happening. Russ in black in Vegas.
Russ trying to like raise his kids in like this wholesome fashion, but you got the strip just like looming right there. It's like, man, how are we gonna keep all this together? It's gonna be it'll be fascinating.
Russ is like flashy. He's like a flashy dresser.
He's what like a corny guy thinks is flashy. He's what
right. He's a nerd. He's a nerd. He's like a nerdy, handsome dad.
Yeah, he's what like a nerd like thinks is a cool person and like acts on that. And I like Russ a lot. He's an awesome player. I think he's a good dude. He's very much in the goober category, which is fine. You know, some people are goobers.
Some people are goobers. That one would be a fun one. Who else we got? Teddy Bridgewater's are out and about. Jameis Winston's out and about.
Is going back to New Orleans?
I think he's a free agent and is just like floating around a little bit, and it feels like they're non-committal between him and Taysom Hill, trying to see if they can finagle some weird moves out. Who knows what the deal is there? What else we got going on? There's more quarterbacks than that.
There's so many. Sam
what
Darnold.
Else we got? Darnold to Washington. I'm big on Darnold to Washington. I believe there was reports that they inquired if they could get him. If Washington could get Darnold for like a second and next year's third, and then the Jets could package that to go get Deshaun Watson with like 3 firsts and 2 seconds or something. This is the matchmaker that we need. That's the kind of juice. That's a 3-way deal. And then the Texans will be able to draft Justin Fields, my boy, possibly.
Are we in the trust tree right now?
We're in the trust tree.
I am terrified that Sam Darnold is going to go to Pittsburgh and be really good.
Sam Darnold's going into his 4th year, so he's a cheap cap hit still.
It just feels like such a Steeler move, doesn't it? With his stupid face and his big hair, like just getting that helmet on and being really good and annoying.
He has the perfect persona of like nonchalant Cali. Like
he's like Big Ben if Big Ben weren't a dickhead.
Yeah. I can totally get on board with that. I think I am still all for Sam Darnold. I think that there was no structure around him. Jets are a miserable organization, and he got fed to the wolves. I still think there's a hell of a quarterback in there. I believe that he's able to make plays as far as improvisation. I think that he can operate in a vertical passing offense a little bit more. The Jets had like that clunky run first-ish, like pro style, weird, whatever offense. A lot of under center stuff and shit line. Mekhi Becton gets hurt. Like I'm not out on Sam Darnold, but in Pittsburgh with a year behind Big Ben, that would be scary sights. Scary sights for sure.
Mac Jones to the Patriots.
Mac Jones to the Patriots. I think Mac Jones to the Steelers or Mac Jones to the Patriots. Those are 2 very viable places for him. I am big on Mac Jones. I think he I liken him to. I think people hate this for some reason. Goff. I think that he's Goff with a little bit more pocket awareness, a little bit more footability, stays throw ready.
Taller too. I mean, Goff for being a tall guy, I feel like he doesn't stand super tall sometimes. If that makes sense.
He cowers in the pocket a little bit. He crumbles under pressure. He averages like 4 yards an attempt after being sacked or after being hit. Mac Jones. People have this like weird. There's this weird thing where like Mac Jones wasn't pressured or something, and maybe the total pressures weren't there. If you watch a couple games, Mac Jones gets, and I only say Mac Jones. I do not say Mac and I do not say Jones. Mac Jones, big Mac Jones.
He's a 2-name guy. Like
big Mac Jones. He took shots, absolute shots, stands in the pocket tall. I'm a big fan. He's not mobile. He's like if it was 15 years ago, he would be like somewhat mobile. He is not like he's not nearly as mobile as like Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield's in that like bottom tier of being mobile. So not ideal, but yeah, I like Mac Jones to maybe sit behind Cam for a year, possibly.
I think you get a Briggs guy, maybe get him in like the second round, maybe bottom of the first, and you go from there.
The Saban Belichick connection. That would just be a fun one. Give us that one.
And he, like not for nothing, like some shades of not like, obviously this is a lofty comparison that is not like being made like player to player, person to person, but a little bit of shades of the way Tom Brady plays to his game, I think.
Yeah. I think for sure. I think in terms of like physique, especially.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like he's got the big ankles and like the long legs. He's just kind of clumping around back there. It's some Brady vibes.
Yeah, he always stays throw ready. I think their bases can be a little similar. Mac Jones still cleaning some things up, but touch to all three levels, great timing, awesome in RPOs. I mean, really touched all three levels. Everyone loves this whole fallacy of like Bama players are like unscoutable or whatever because they're all so good. Give me a break.
Scout them.
Give me a break. They play in the SEC. There's 60 guys drafted from the FCC every year. Like, give me a break.
Well, Tosh, the dominant conference, the SEC. Orioles Haiku and Connor Kellerstrass have two questions that are pretty similar, so we'll combine them. Orioles says, Jamison Hensley predicts that the Ravens will sign Joe Thuney. Thoughts on that? I figure he'd be an immediate upgrade over Powers or Bozeman. And then Connor says, if Jamison is correct in us landing Thuney, what would be your prediction for their starting five? Let's assume OBJ hasn't been traded yet.
Macari at center, Bozeman at left guard, Thuney at right guard, Orlando Brown and Ronnie Stanley. Obviously, the trade has not happened yet, but whatever. I like the idea of Thuney a lot. I want Thuney or Lindsley for the Ravens. One of the two, both would be nut jobby. I think that is a way of overcompensating the way that the Ravens did with the defensive front last year. Go get Thuney and Lindsley. Ink them both to multi-year deals and remove the weakness, remove the excuse.
Honestly, I look at the way the Browns have operated the last couple of years, and they've just thrown everything at pass catcher and at O-line, and like it finally worked out for him this year, and I really liked what I saw. So maybe just give that a shot.
Yeah, but Thuney, thumbs up. Definitely better than Powers. Powers. I don't want to say he disappointed me, but definitely a lot to improve on. High quality backup right now. I'm not, and again, this is the offseason where I'm done with potential. I don't want the potential team. I don't want we're counting on these guys to make a jump. No, you need to overcompensate. And additionally, if guys make jumps, then you're hitting a grand slam. But I want home runs.
Yeah, I agree. It's time to go all in, chips all the way into the center of the table. Do it in free agency, do it in the draft, all in on offense. Cody McGowan. I think the DeForest Buckner to the Colts trade is a good comparison of what max value could look like for an OBJ trade. Tunsil Hull is a pipe dream, so DW about that. Buckner and OBJ feel comparable, even though they're on opposite side of the ball. What do you guys think? And then he says Buckner trade netted Niners the 13th overall pick, by the way.
Chargers. Chargers have the 13th.
Yeah. And so he says Buckner was also about to hit free agency, whereas Brown has a year to run on his rookie deal. Yeah. I mean, so like if it's that one high-end first-round pick, yes. Multiple picks if it's like a late first-rounder or a late first-rounder and a starting player. I almost look at it as like maybe you look at the Hayden Hurst trade as a little bit of a baseline as well, where Hayden Hurst is not as good of a player at a less valuable position with less tape, and you got a second rounder for him. I mean, like, feels like you're talking about at least a first rounder for Orlando Brown here.
I like that analogy, to that comparison to DeForest Buckner a lot. Yeah. DeForest Buckner did need to be extended still, and you do have, I think, that additional year, that 1 year, gets you a mid-round pick. So I think, first and a fourth, I think that's a nice return. And first and a third, great. Anything better than that, higher than that, I think is incredible. If you get a first and a second, that would be really, 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 really awesome. I think Eric DeCosta is good at like getting right to the point. This is just pure speculation, but like puts a first and third out there. Like, let's not do the whole 2 firsts and a whatever thing. Like, give me a first, give me a third. Let's get this over with so I can reconstruct my team. You can move on in your draft and realign your board that way. Like, I think that's what the Ravens end up getting ultimately. But yeah, I like the comparison there in terms of value. Buckner being an interior disruptor, Brown obviously playing on the end, and 2 ascending solid, players. I think Buckner might be a little bit more elite in comparison with his contemporaries around the NFL, but yeah, valuable guys. I like that. 13 and 13. The Chargers just feel like freaking Goldilocks right now with them having Herbert, them having Keenan Allen. They have Brandon Staley coming in with a bunch of pieces on defense and having a full draft outside, if they give that 13th pick away. So tough. And it would be so fun if it was a draft day trade. Like if the Chargers were like, all right. Like, let's see how the board plays out. And then let's say Penei Sewell and Rashawn Slater both go, and that's the 2 guys that they wanted or something. And they're like, okay, we're going to trade it. And then it's like a boom draft day trade. That would be exciting. Like watching the draft, watching that happen, watch the Ravens trade up and go get Najee Harris with the 13th overall. No, I'm just kidding. But go get Kyle Pitts or one of those guys or something. That would be fun. That'd be fast times at Ridgemont High.
I think it's good. Mr. Spicoli, I think DeCosta knows people high up in their front office too, because he knew they were going to take Joey Bosa like days before it happened in 2016. So I think there's a relationship there that could maybe be taken advantage of. Trip Prindle says, Dream cap casualty edition, most likely cap casualty edition. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of throw this Tyrell Williams discussion in right here, because I feel like he would be a good cap casualty upside type signing. A guy who is productive and very good, a player that I know you like very much, who is going to be discussed at length by Ravens fans, so we might as well get it out of the way right now. I like Tyrell Williams for this.
If the Ravens were to go and get a Studley combination at offensive line, like I said, Tooney and Lindsley or Scherf or something along those lines, and let's say they retain Judon and they restructure Ronnie Stanley, move some money around, don't really have a ton of money left, but really solidified everything going into the draft. We're assuming they trade Orlando Brown as well, maybe 2 first-round picks possibly, and then you go sign Tyrell Williams on a 1 year, $4 million deal in a COVID year. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I don't think that you've overcompensated the entire offense, but you're gonna if you end up establishing the offensive line as the major need, getting the veterans in there, don't want to wait on that, and you have picks, can go get more weapons. Some, another younger guy, God forbid. Hollywood's going to be enhanced. Mark Andrews is going to be enhanced. Devin Duvernay is going to be enhanced because you're solidifying the offensive line. So as long as you're really making the offensive line into a top 5 unit, like a sturdy, unquestioned top 5 unit, I'm completely fine with Tyrell Williams being the only addition. But if you don't really, I would rather see him paired maybe with a T.Y. Hilton or something, like double down on that kind of move. And maybe one of them pops.
That's not the move, but it could be a good move. Jesse, what movie/TV football player would you add to the 2021 Ravens? For me, I'm going to go Jerry Maguire with Rod Tidwell, just the possession beast receiver, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character. was played for the Arizona Cardinals. I think he was either supposed to be. I actually don't know what year Jerry Maguire came out. This might be pre-Anquan Bolden, but just the fact that he played for the Cardinals and one of the catches that he made gave off some Anquan Bolden vibes. So I'm going to go Rod Tidwell. Show me the money from Jerry Maguire.
I'm going to go with Brian Chavez, starting safety, Permian Panthers, Friday Night Lights.
So he threw Boobie Miles in there. So you guys are sympathetic.
Boobie can't play. Boobie gets hurt.
He's also like, I think
Put Boobie in, let Boobie spin.
I think those guys are based on real people, right?
Yeah, no, that all was real. Yeah.
Friday Night Lights it's a Buzz Bissinger book. So like those, I don't know, does that count as fictional?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Give me Chavez. Give me Preacher Man. Oh,
give me Voodoo
I'll kick
Tatum.
your ass and flip
Friday
flop.
Night Lights expanded universe. I'd take Voodoo Tatum any day of the week.
If I could trade lives with Peter Berg, I would.
Yeah, that's honestly a great call. That guy gets some fun projects.
Lone Survivor, like he's in the shit. Peter Berg gets in the shit.
He did QB1 too.
Yeah, he slept on couches and at 17-year-old quarterbacks' houses. Justin Fields, my boy.
He's like Chip Harbaugh. Just
see, trust tree. Give me Justin Fields. Give me Peter Berg. Those are two guys I like. I want to hang out with those two.
Okay, I like that. Nah says Ravens can change their. Okay, so we actually got two of these. Nah says Ravens can change their uniforms if they want to. What changes would you make, or anything you want incorporated to the design? And then Ravens burner, our boy with the mustard pants for the Avies, says, do you guys want to see any updates to the jersey? Nothing crazy, but I don't love the purple ones.
I want like Oregon Ducks, like more gothic looking, like black shiny or black matte. Number one, I want black matte helmets, first of all, obviously. Number two, give me like Oregon Ducks, like Ravens wings on the shoulder pads. And I want to use like a different, I don't like the Color Rush gold. I want like a more royal gold and incorporate that a little bit more into the uniform generally. That would be sick for me. Give me some Ravens wings on shoulder pads. That'd be tight.
I'm more of a classic guy. I would keep the purple, and then I would do just a white helmet with just a number on the side of it, like Penn State or Alabama vibes.
I'm not a classic guy, and I know that because I love the Rams jerseys.
Yeah, you like the maximalist, like new agey kind of shit. Like
I really do.
The fake uniforms, like 10 new like Oregon Ducks designs. Click here for the slideshow. That's going to give you 50 viruses. That's like your type vibe, which is cool. But I like the classics a little more.
You're getting condescending with it. You're like, oh, you like I like the classics. I'm Joe DiMaggio. I'm Joe DiMaggio. You're Jose Canseco.
I'm Joe DiMaggio sitting in the the coffee shop, dunking my donuts in the coffee. I'm a little new agey.
So that's Seinfeld. Joe DiMaggio dipping the donuts. That's Seinfeld. Yeah. Okay. So that went over.
Joe eats dinky donuts. I don't believe it.
Yeah, dinky donuts. There we go. That went over my head for 3/4 of a second. I was like, wait, Joe DiMaggio.
Jerry, he was in Dinky Donuts. Yeah, guy slept with Marilyn Monroe. He's sitting there eating Dinky Donuts.
I was just like, I think it was maybe because of that commercial, but I was just like daydreaming, like, not daydreaming, but like spacing out, thinking about Jason Alexander. How funny is it that he did Shallow Hal and had a tail, and that was his like attempt to break away from George Costanza, like one of them.
He's weirdly never been George Costanza in anything else. I think even before that, and he was in Pretty Woman. He played like a total creep, and then he plays and then they actually kind of make fun of it in Curb when he's like a totally like him in the show is like totally not George Costanza, but then him and Larry start to beef a little bit, and he kind of like proves to be George.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
kind of funny.
I was actually just watching Curb like season 5 last night.
That's a good rewatch. I got to go back to it at some point. It's been
I've never watched all the way through. I've seen most episodes. I've seen a lot of episodes like 3 or 4 times, but never finished all the way. That's how I was with Seinfeld until like last year.
Yeah, it's similar to Seinfeld in that like the early episodes are kind of like a proof of concept, and they're still good, but like they're not as like once they really hit their stride, then like you kind of know it for what it is. But yeah, the early ones are a little bit different, but definitely worth a chronological watch through. Over 20 years old at this point, hard to believe. Cody says George as DaCosta in the Ravens Lifetime movie. Dunkin' Donuts, check. Jerry, Coca-Cola, check.
Ozzy, I need draft picks.
Give me draft picks, okay? I can't do this anymore.
You're gonna have to freak out on me. That is ridiculous. So Zeech Batman says, bring back either Ward or Ellis or neither, and then he follows up. Hottie's been getting a little cryptic on the Twitter machine recently. He's been doing the eye emojis, and then he just tweeted 20 minutes ago, and Zeech Batman followed up with he answered my question. Hottie tweeting 20 minutes ago, new money on the way. So
I love Jihad Ward.
Yeah, me too.
I hope that's the Ravens bringing him back.
I feel like it probably would be, right? And like him walking off the field, flipping the double birds was just an iconic moment.
Yeah, he is super versatile. He is one of those guys. You can line up an edge. You can line him up over a center. Was originally like a nose tackle in some weird way, but I just like his length. I like his strength. I don't think he's super polished, but I think he's explosive, good run defender. He's a cleanup sack kind of guy. He pushes the pocket around, he starts thrashing around in there. But yeah, give him like a 2-3 year deal and have him have like a teeny tiny. I'm just captain, give guys long deals right now and teeny tiny little cap hits this year and get a bunch of them. Do it with everyone you possibly can and hope that the TV deals go up big. I don't think you're going to be in that bad of a place. The Ravens don't have like anything crazy going on in the next couple of years cap wise. So take a little bit of risk here. Let's get it going. It's time. So Jihad Ward, the perfect kind of player to give him a 2-year deal, 3-year deal. He's been bouncing around. Plus, and backstories or whatever, but his is incredible. He went and played, I think it was early college, like it was either college or high school, but I want to say his freshman and sophomore year, he played in like either Staten Island or like Manhattan, like JUCO, and like literally did not have money. He would steal like every single meal, didn't eat any food throughout the day, would have to take like 3 hours of trains a day to get to practice and stuff, and like have his football pads on the train, and somehow, some way finds his way into the NFL. So pay the man a little money. Let him go get some good meals. I like Jihad Ward. He always wants to play too. He's always mad that he's not playing. Like he wants to be on the field. He wants to prove himself. I have good vibes from Jihad Ward.
He's a wild man. I love him. Yeah, when I was in college, actually, I worked for the catering department. So on days where maybe I wasn't scheduled, I would throw the uniform on and kind of sneak into the mess hall if I didn't have any swipes and get myself a meal that way. So I can relate to that. I
had a month in college. I literally had a month in college where I had no money, and it was like summer, and I like had just started a job, and it was like I ate pretty much matzah and peanut butter. And like I would put like sprinkled cheese and tomato sauce on matzah that like one of my roommates like left behind, and that's what I ate for like 10 days.
I was big on.
I was appreciating.
I was just big on eating like tortillas, like just a tortilla by itself. I would just like kind of roll it up and.
Jihad Ward attended the Globe Institute of Technology for 2 years to improve his grades.
GIT,
and 2013, he played in 7 games, made 26 tackles. Then he transferred to Illinois, and he was a starting defensive end, and ends up being a second-round pick. Then gets injured, gets cut, bounces around. Bingo, bango, boom. Baltimore Raven. Give him a mild bag. I want him to get a mild bag.
That should be a cookout menu item. The mild bag.
Ooh.
Skipjack having a little fun with me for being old, for saying remember, do it for the vine. He asks, what do you think the chances are we have a better OL next year than we did this year?
I think 100%.
Yeah, I think so too. Even if Brown leaves, like
you had Brown, it didn't. Ronnie Stanley was hurt, so that they kind of cancel each other out in that sense.
Yeah, and then
Ronnie Stanley comes back, and then you have one of them.
And he gives you draft capital to make other moves potentially.
I'm tired of like they're undersized. Like size is not a skill, but on the offensive line, you kind of got to be able to be heavy enough to sink in.
Kind of is a skill though. Like
yeah,
it's not
and
you don't ban guys for not having it, but like
Macari is a small center.
Yeah,
he's not a massive. They're all mobile or whatever, but I want to see guys driving, playing zone, running duo or inside zone.
You want the road?
Yes, I do very badly. Jalen Mayfield, I've been stuck on him for a couple days, and I'm trying to like really look at some of his weaknesses. I think his hands are not developed all the way yet, and his kick slide's a little bit like too much effort. It's not fluid enough yet, but crushes people. It's like one of those things where you can look for a prospect and, you search. You search their name first. I actually do watch highlight tapes first because I want to see what the best of their best is. And with offensive linemen, it's kind of hard. They don't have highlight tapes and stuff, but you see the clips on Twitter, whatever. And it's like, all right, pancake. Okay, everybody has a couple pancakes, but every single game, Jalen Mayfield put someone on their ass. I want the Ravens to draft Jalen Mayfield. I think it's a great fit if you can't get like a Rashad Bateman. Those are two of my big guys right now for the back end of the first round.
That is all we had from Twitter.
From Twitter. Now let's do the IG. Had a mild mailbag. Let's get it started. Greet Lau. If EDC got MP for a fifth, can't imagine the haul for a young Pro Bowl left tackle. That was bad business. The Rams were just identify the people who are crazy to do deals with, like the Rams or the Texans or Bill O'Brien, RIP to him, wheeling and dealing. But identify the teams that are like freaky and don't care about certain things and do business with them.
Yeah, that's going to give you a good chance to fleece somebody, which Costa, in certain mild bag ways, has found a way to do so with other teams.
The Vikings, we thought it was going to be Yannick Ngakoue was going to be the Vikings had no reason to keep Yannick, and clearly that was the best offer they got. So it felt like it was like a fleecing, but the Vikings I think they went on a little run after they traded him too. Not that it was because they traded him, but I would say that was like a mutually beneficial trade. But yeah, Eric DeCosta, I was kind of getting a little hard earlier, just my thoughts on Eric DeCosta and what has he done. But at the same time, I was thinking about 2019, bringing in Bynes, bringing in LJ Fort, bringing in Pico, bringing in Pico Peco Peka Paka, bringing in Jihad Ward, all those moves and solidify. The man can really he is like the Flex Seal of GMs. When there's a problem, he sprays a damn rubber on it and seals that bad boy up.
Billy Mays here, bringing you some things that I like.
Flex Seal. Rubber sprays
all over it. The result may shock you. Check. We can move on.
Andy Lee 2000. What do you think about Quinn Miners in the third round? Maybe he's there, maybe he's not. I don't know. I like Quinn Miners wherever. Second round, if you like him, you like him. I love the D3 hustlers. I am a big fan of that. And like I said, he is both graceful and destructive. In pass pro, his feet are great. He really can he can really drive his hips through and anchor down and extends his back, does everything. He does everything he possibly can with great form, creates good angles, has great flexibility, can dunk a basketball at 6'3" and 335 pounds, whatever he is. Mean SOB, does some weird workouts in Canada with logs over his head. You guys know I love the workouts. He has a tree trunk that he squats over his head with. Quinn Miners third round would be great. That would be fantastic. I feel like he might not be there when the Ravens pick at the end of the third round.
Yeah, but specific round projections are kind of tough right now, but yeah, maybe that day 2 type thing.
Yeah, Jake Sklendenek. I might have butchered that, but it was a lot of letters. He has a 3-parter. What do you think the Ravens will do about Tyree Phillips? Just let him compete for a job, see if he gets better.
Keep him around, let him try to continue to develop, got pressed into action a little bit. What are you going to do?
And then continued on to that. I thought it was his 3-parter. Like I said, he seems to have great size for a right tackle. Maybe this year he will improve. His feet were too slow to play guard. I don't see him having a jump in quickness in one off season to be able to he was already playing in the SEC.
Here's an idea. Move him to fullback. He can carry the wood. We know that.
He can pound the rock. Over under on Tyree Phillips rushing touchdowns in 2021, 0.5.
I'm taking the over. They know it's a meme. The Tyree Phillips stonks are going brazy right now. He's been taking off Robin Hood. He's scoring a touchdown as a
assets frozen at offensive line. Going to get an open call into the backfield. And then part 3, do you expect Ronnie Stanley to come back and be the same caliber player that he was pre-injury? Don't know the extent of the ankle. Don't know if it's going to nag him. Don't know. But
I would say regardless, not right away.
Maybe not. He's a perfectionist, man. He's really a technician. I think has the right headspace. I think that he has the right resources that he already has used to grow and become great, if he doesn't have a durability issue as a result of the ankle, and the ankle, again, for the record, he got rolled up on. Like, you can't call him not you can't call someone who has someone roll and break their ankle while they're planting on it not
Do
durable.
you remember when, literally right when he got drafted, Wally Williams out of nowhere said that he had a reputation for being like soft or something at Notre Dame? And that has followed him his entire career, and he's missed like not even that many games other than this.
He probably has missed, before this year, he's probably missed like 5 games or something, like 6 games.
Come on, Wally Williams, stop spreading rumors, because it infected everyone's mind, and now they think he's not durable.
Whatever. Moving on, Black Ice 85. Do you think the Ravens should bring Des Bryant back? I'm going to go with no.
I saw this question on the IG. I think the same thing. I love Des. I wish him the best. I think his story arc has hopefully been completed for him. Would have preferred to get a ring. Didn't happen, obviously, but he got a nice playoff win, caught a couple touchdowns. They can do better than him, I think, pretty easily. So, yeah, let's go ahead and move on.
Bring him to camp. Bring him to camp again.
Sure, yeah, let him compete. But, just bring in
hustle.
options that make it so that it's going to be very hard for him to make the team, which is a good problem for everyone.
I agree. Stephen Wu. Orlando Brown and a 3rd rounder for Calvin Ridley. Number 1, I don't think that the Falcons have issues at tackle. Their left tackle is Jake Matthews. Is Jake Matthews really old now? How old is Jake?
He got drafted after Johnny Manziel.
How old is Jake Matthews?
He got drafted 2015, I think.
29. Still good to go. Still, so I don't think that's realistic, unless maybe they kick him to right tackle. They have what's his name? Caleb McGarry. Caleb McGarry, yeah, the monster from University of Washington, UW. I didn't watch a lot of Falcons. I'm not sure how he fared. Would think that he is on the road to being above average and becoming like a long-term starter. That's the trajectory I saw for him as a prospect. Not sure how he's been filling out over there, but I don't know. Weird. Possibly no. I don't think the Ravens are going to give up capital to go get a receiver and trade Orlando Brown. I think they would prefer to have someone on a rookie contract and get themselves out of that area where you needed to re-sign Marlon or wanted to re-sign Marlon and Mark Andrews and Ronnie Stanley and Orlando Brown and go get a cheaper player to replace.
This is my take on Orlando Brown for Calvin Ridley. Shout out to Curb.
Pretty. And Nagel. Oh, wait. Tight end is a position I hope the Ravens prioritize over wide receiver this offseason. Are there any free agent tight ends out there? I believe Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, Tyler Eifert, Jared Cook. I don't know if there's any other big names. The Ravens' favorite one is Delaney Walker. Everyone's wanted Delaney Walker. He didn't even play last year.
Not anymore.
So maybe I'm looking at 2021. Gronk. Gronk's not coming to play for the Ravens. He's not playing anywhere except for with Tom Brady. Am I insane? I'm pretty sure. I thought Johnny Smith was one, but possibly not. Johnny Smith would be a nice little addition, but I like the idea of drafting a tight end.
I feel like you can, draft a guy.
Draft a guy that can go fill in for Nick Boyle in like 2 or 3 years if need be. Get a third head in there. I like having somebody in their prime, Mark Andrews, somebody who's grizzled veteran Nick Boyle, and then a young bull to learn from those two. So I like the prospect of that. I like the idea of the Ravens drafting a tight end this year. They did re-sign Eric Tomlinson to a 1-year deal, but
everybody knows you love Eric Tomlinson. So.
He was a good blocker, but did he catch a pass? I don't think he caught one pass.
I don't think so.
I think he had 6 targets or something and no catches. He had 0 receptions. 1 catch for 1 yard. Nope, that was 2019. Did not catch a ball in 2019 or 2020. Very weird. Moving on. Thoughts on T.Y. Hilton? Eric Hansen 92 asked. T.Y. Hilton, like I said, I would like him to be a double down. If they want to double dip at receiver and get 2 of the lower end cheaper options, I would like to take a chance on. I would love to take a flyer on T.Y. Hilton. I definitely see him ending up in Philly. if they are able to move some things around and follow Samini. I still haven't even learned his name. Nick Samini, the offensive coordinator. Sirianni. There we go. Sirianni. See him following him to Philly, possibly. Ty, I like the idea of Ty. I think he misses time. He's like guaranteed to miss like 4 games, it feels like, but I think he's got juice still. Yeah. Fiore Lucas. Greetings from your Brazilian loyal listener. We actually have like quite a few Brazilian listeners. I think we get like 40 a month. Last time I looked at
shout out to Ravens Brazil on Twitter. That might be a big reason why.
Hell yeah, Ravens Brazil on Twitter. Excellent. Block 1134. Do you think any of the Ravens' new pass game additions will actually help develop the young wide receiver group? And they put Boykin in parentheses. I think that they are, Culley's been in the NFL for a long time. They might have expectations of guys to kind of learn on their own a little bit, and maybe they're going to start babying guys a little bit more and helping them along the way, integrating them and easing them in more and going back to the fundamental aspect. I can really only speculate. I don't know what T. Martin is good at. I know Garnett, our boy, has watched a bunch of Keith Williams practice, YouTube Tyreek Hill stuff, and he seems to have a bunch of great, life advice and getting some drills and getting some work in and stuff. So I would hope so. I think that's why they brought them in, is to fix that system of developing wide receivers, be able to integrate guys into whatever John Harbaugh's vision for the wide receivers are. They're taking a new approach. It feels like getting some new blood that is not in that Harbaugh coaching tree and get it in there. I like it. I like it a lot. And I think everybody likes those moves. They kind of came out of nowhere a little bit. And I like that. I like it. They're going outside the box, trying to fix things. So I'm usually an optimist in terms of John Harbaugh being able to bring coaches in. So I'll remain that way.
Yeah, I like the moves. Again, no idea what they're going to bring or what their process is, but I like the idea of going younger, going sleeker, trying to upset the apple cart a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Neon Dion. After grading the 17 wide receivers drafted since 2008 as a whole, Harbs deserves more credit. We'll let that be a standalone comment. Sure. Boss Hoss, OO. What is a realistic price tag for the top free agent centers? I prefer to get a proven vet at that spot. I would think 11.5, 12 million AAV. I think Lindsley by over the cap is projected like 11. I could see Lindsley's like an all-pro. That's not too old. I think he's 29 and was drafted in 2015, either 2014 or 2015. Think he's going to get a decent bag. And I could see it being up there. I think who's the highest paid center? Rodney Hudson with like a 4-year, $50 million deal. Let me look it up. Rodney Hudson sitting at, $33.75 million on his extension. 3 years, $33 million, $11.25 million. So I guess in this COVID year, you would expect it to not set the market unless one of those, teams that have the top 5 most cap money want to throw a bag. But yeah, 11 million sounds something like that. Sounds about right for Corey Lindsley. Yeah. I agree. I would like a veteran center for sure. Someone in the middle that has seen it all, is used to it. There's not a learning curve. It can be a stabilizing force between the guards. And I think that's a good idea as well.
Absolutely.
Ishmael 4. Do you guys believe the Ravens' only opportunity to get a top wide receiver is to get one via trade for Orlando Brown Jr.? How do you think the Ravens would get a top shelf receiver?
Yeah, probably that might be the way, and it might have to be a guy on a first contract, just with the way that they're going to be somewhat limited cap space wise, and the way that these top tier wide receiver contracts have just exploded. So I guess it depends on what your definition of top tier is. Like all the people clamoring for Allen Robinson, I don't know what world I see that really happening in, but maybe you swing an Orlando Brown for like a Mike Williams. Maybe that's going to work for some people.
Yeah, they would have to extend Mike Williams probably, but moving through some names on first contracts, DJ Shark could make sense maybe.
I've seen him floating around on Twitter for some people.
Right. Will Fuller, a free agent, not a trade, but That one, I mean, all these, who knows what's going to happen with these free agents?
It depends on the definition of top tier. Because like I think if they go and sign Will Fuller, it's like everyone will have been talking about that as like a potentially like exciting signing, and then it'll happen, and I feel like people will be like, this guy can't stay healthy, like he's only a deep threat, like what's the deal? So I don't know.
Looking through these receivers, I really only see like DJ Shark as that kind of.
Is it Shark or Shark?
Shark. I believe it's Shark.
Okay, so it's
I'm not 100 emoji there, but
potentially a shark attack if they were to sign him.
A shark attack. That's the only one that I see that's on like a rookie deal. As I'm combing through, I think that's the only one that would make sense, and I don't think that's unrealistic either. DJ Moore? Question mark? Possibly, but I feel like they want to get their quarterback first, which can be the wrong methodology. Those might be the only two.
They signed Robbie Anderson. Like, what's going on there? Give somebody else a turn.
Ravens passed on DJ Moore. Yeah. So those are the only ones I could really see. So I don't think there's a huge chance at that. Shark. Do you want to take away a weapon for Trevor Lawrence? Probably no. When you have picks and it's a deep tackle class,
Urban will find some scumbag that he can put in there and keep building that program up.
Do you kind of feel? I kind of get the feeling this is just speculation, bullcrap, but
speculation.
Jaguars, maybe Urban Meyer's coming from the college scene. He knows the college scene well. He's got all the connections still. Maybe he wants to keep all those picks and thinks he can have the upper hand. Matt Rule.
Listen, whatever Urban says goes. He's made as much clear, which is why they hired Trent Baalke. So we're going to see what happens. I think the Mayo Clinic better get a bed ready for fake ouchie season because it's coming around the corner here once the Jaguars are at like 2-4.
2-4. Michael Thomas can't be traded. Can be traded post June 1st. I don't know.
What is people's thoughts on where Michael Thomas's stonk is at? Because I feel like it's at an all-time low.
I feel like his stonk is at an all-time low, but he's got a big contract. I love Michael Thomas as a wide receiver.
I like his stonk being low because I feel like he could still be good, but that can maybe influence the trade value a little bit too.
I am a big Michael Thomas guy. I have been for a long time.
Me too. Even with all the slant boy stuff going off right now, I've kept the faith.
Physical, sudden, smart receiver. The slant boy shit is stupid. And good
facial structure.
I hate the excuse of like, he played with an injury this year, but I give him. He had a tough scene going on in New Orleans. A lot of weird, he's being a little bit of a diva, getting into his feelings on Twitter, and then kind of shut the hell up and buckled down, played with an injury, and tried to go win one for Drew Brees.
Three interesting options at quarterback being filtered in and out. It's hard to get settled like that.
And he got busy during that. Taysom Hill and him had a little bit of a connection, but doesn't seem like a realistic option with the Saints being so far in the red, having some moves to make. And I think they would have to trade him after June 1st to get any sort of actual alleviation. So possibly.
Saints also think they're going to win the Super Bowl every single year, regardless of like what their situation is. So
very true. Very true. Moving on. B-Rose 931 sprinkles in here. One of our frequent flyers. I saw the Raiders are going to release Ty Williams. Would you guys be interested in signing him? We already hit on that one. Yeah, we wouldn't hate it. We don't want that to be the move, but could be a move. Yep. Moving on. Ryan J. Laurie. Which new coach has the best chance to have the most success? I like Robert Saleh, man. I really do. They don't have their quarterback situation figured out, but I think he knows how to make a lot out of a little. He seems to be intense, but positively intense. I like the energy that he brings. He has a really good staff in place. The Jets have some pieces, possibly a new quarterback, possibly trade Sam Darnold, get, a little bit more draft capital, a lot of money. I think that he is a revered coach among players and among coaches as well. And for my money, was probably the best defensive coordinator in football this past year, considering the incredible injuries that the 49ers faced. Kind of had a really heroic, courageous defensive season despite. So I really like Saleh.
Yeah, I like him too. I think he's maybe in a tougher spot than a name I'll throw out there for discussion, and Brandon Staley, who pretty much seems set up to go roster-wise. Charger ownership is terrible. I've harped on this. The Spanos family is not doing a great job, and they're not going to have much of a home field advantage if there are even fans allowed at all. So we'll see what happens in that regard, but it feels like the roster is pretty much there to go for the Chargers, and I do like Brandon Staley as a candidate. So I think he's another guy who's going to have some success.
I like it a lot. I think that the Eagles are in a tough situation. I think they're in a lot of turmoil, a lot of pressure there. I could see the Eagles getting. That's one I'm low on right now, and I don't think it's because of lack of coaching ability. I just think that their owner and the city and their GM are kind of at an impasse, and I think they're going to try and put Band-Aids on something that needs stitches a little bit. They need to, get Wentz the hell out of there, tear that SOB down, break it on down, build it back up. And is Howie Roseman going to be the guy? GM turnover can be chaotic when there's, a new coach. I don't know. Feels like they're going to roll with Howie because of the Super Bowl and whatever. But Eagles, I'm questionable on. Moving on. If you could rename M&T Bank Stadium for a year, what would you rename it? Asks Joe Boken, Ninja JC. We got Jakey.
Johnny Unitas Field at Camden Yards. I don't know.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I like the idea of linking Camden Yards to the entire situation.
I think that is technically Camden Yards still, right?
Has to be, yeah. They share a parking lot.
Yeah. So Johnny Unitas Field at Camden Yards.
Johnny. I like that a lot. I'm just going to roll with that one. Joe Boken and JC as well. How many blue chip players do the Ravens currently have on their roster? Let's go with Ronnie Stanley, Lamar Jackson, Marlon Humphrey,
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, that's fine.
Justin Tucker.
Kickers don't count.
Yeah, he does. Most kickers don't.
That's fine. Not enough. I think they need a couple more in there. So getting that 13th pick.
I think actually Towson might be called Johnny Unitas, so maybe that's where I got that from. But I'm stealing it.
It is.
I'm stealing it.
I like it a lot. Emahan 2. What do you think the Ravens will get for Orlando Brown? First and a third or a fourth, and I think that the third or fourth could quite possibly be 2022.
Or that higher tier first and only that.
That would make sense. Z Zoller, best possible outcome, but realistic lineup for the offensive starters for next season. Best possible outcome. Give me new starters. Give me new additions. Let's go Corey Linsley. Let's go Jalen Mayfield with that late first round pick. Let's go realistic. Let's go Corey Davis.
Hollywood.
And that's that.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown.
Corey. I'm sorry. So yeah, then it would be Hollywood. It would be Devin Duvernay. It would be Mark Andrews. It would be Nick Boyle. It would be Ronnie Stanley. Lamar, Dobbins, Gus Edwards, TBD. It feels like they'll bring Gus back. He's pretty cheap. Still pretty cheap.
Sounds like a bang up option to me.
Yeah, add another younger receiver in there possibly. Can do some damage. Moving on. Mason Legg, unless the Ravens get a first plus wide receiver or edge, they shouldn't trade Orlando. It's kind of just like they don't like being in the situation where someone doesn't want to be there and is like causing a little
fuck that. Like, don't be, in football and in life, don't be thirsty. You don't want to be here. I don't want you.
Agreed. Kogi Berra, Mike Pouncey is UFA. How come nobody's talking about that? Number one, he has been struggle bus for like 2-3 years. Number two, he's retired.
He and his brother are clowns. Let's just say that.
Absolute goons. Matthias the Great. Most realistic trade partner for Zeus Jr. Draft capital. We've gone through that. No more Orlando Brown. Alex the okay. Do you feel like the Ravens should get a veteran center like Alex Mack instead of relying on the draft? Yes.
Definitely. I think that's where you start is a veteran center, to be honest.
I think the centerpiece should be Corey Linsley. Like I've said, give him it's the cheapest way of making a big splash that solidifies, that gets it out of the way, and you're not breaking the bank if you're giving him, $11-12 million a year. First year cap hit can be, $4, $5, $6 million. It allows you to, get a couple 1 year rentals, maybe bring an edge back, whatever. Gives you more flexibility while still, number one, solidifying your offensive line. Number two, allowing you to draft without your hand tied behind your back and really having to buckle down and look at center. I feel like they have to be sick of the center situation. They have to be sick of it.
Yeah, I think like for all the hand wringing about all the issues,
and it's not just the snap issues. Like I think other teams have more snap issues than we realize, but just like get a good fucking center.
Yeah, I think here's the way I would phrase it. I think if we can figure that out, I think Eric DeCosta can. And maybe I'm just a fanboy or whatever, but I think he's smart enough to realize what the issues are.
Adam Jones, 357, 5-time Gold Glover. Kyle Pitts plus Corey Davis or Michael Gallup plus what they already have equals Super Bowl offense, ? Shrug emoji. Kyle Pitts, Corey Davis, or Michael Gallup plus what they already have. Kyle Pitts.
I want to say yes.
In that situation, if you keep Orlando Brown and, add some rookie offensive line competition, yeah, sure. That's a really well-rounded offense. Kyle Pitts is my glass slipper.
This is so stupid, but I think you might like it. When I first started watching him, and I think this reference will maybe I think it'll be on your radar a little bit after what we saw this past fall. I don't know why this came into my head, but when I first watched him, the name that came to mind was Dustin Johnson. Just like a tall, languid, smooth, like nonchalant, but just fucking awesome. And like, you just want to have that guy on your side.
I'm so down with that.
I don't know why, but
he's consistent, very consistent.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know why. Maybe I just had golf on the mind or whatever from like watching it or something. But like, as soon as I watched him, I kind of have comparisons rattling through the brain. And like, I just saw like just DJ's big, beautiful bearded face.
You're just comfortable. If you've got money on Dustin Johnson, or if you need Dustin Johnson to go hit a couple golf balls to save your life, you're like, I'm at ease.
If I need if I need like a third down catch from Kyle Pitts, no problem. I'm just gonna like hawk it up. He's just gonna come down with it. Like, and there's just nothing. There's no drama around it. It's just it kind of is what it is.
I like that a lot. I like football player wise. I think he's very similar to Plaxico Burress. Very similar. Like moves too well for how big he is, but not like he's not Calvin Johnson. I like that one.
Hopefully, better firearm safety.
No guns, Kyle Pitts. No guns for you. Don't be popping off in New York. A foot. Orlando for Njoku and a first or second. The Browns have 2 tackles. No. WB Caps.
I'm not going to trade him within the division.
That and the Browns already have 2 tackles. That high first round pick and one that they just paid a shitload of money and they both played well. WB Caps. Hot Pockets as a meal after college. Yes or no? I haven't touched a Hot Pocket in 3 years, 2 years, but I would. Yeah,
I haven't either, but I would as well. I think, like
I'm a lean pocket guy. I like the lean pockets. They're a little less gross.
I like those. Yeah, they're. My problem is like it's kind of tough to get the right heating on them because I feel like every time I do it, I'm getting like some cold in the center. So you really got to nuke them as part of the issue. But it's. I think here and there, a couple of years out of college, nothing wrong with doing that every once in a while. I like Hot Pockets.
Nuke it like too much. Bite off both corners. Pop it so that it opens up. Blow into it, let it sit, take a little nibble off the corner, test it. Have to risk burning your mouth, literally incinerating your entire mouth. Jim Gaffigan, just go watch Jim Gaffigan.
No, for something that is like billed as being a convenient option, like there is a lot of hoops that you have to jump through, and you're not guaranteed to not burn the roof of your mouth.
It's a high volatility snack.
So maybe from that perspective, you're better off staying away from them if you're looking for convenience factor and price factor. But, I like them.
Put them in the fucking air fryer. Oh, that is probably the move. Air frying Hot Pockets. They probably don't get as it probably cooks it a little bit more evenly and not quite as hot. And they get more crispy, I bet.
You got to think some kind of like Instagram food blogger has done that already.
That's like a TikTok thing. Like,
they're just I
put a Hot Pocket in an air fryer.
You can't sleep. You just have pandemic anxiety at like 2 a.m. and you're just watching like Hot Pocket TikToks and like guys building like pools in the forest and stuff.
You're just thinking of that hut that they built in like the jungle, aren't you?
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's like the classic Galaxy Brain 2 a.m. thing.
Yeah, there's that, and then there are like pool videos and stuff as well. which are pretty sick. The bricklaying is big on TikTok too.
Really? I get like, I'm real hot and cold TikTok. Like I don't ever hate TikTok. I always like TikTok, but I just kind of forget about it for a long time, and then I'll rattle off like 3 hours in a day. And
it gets a little addicting, so I kind of have to. I'm like, all right, maybe I should like put this down and go like read a book or something for a little while, so I don't like just completely rot my brain. But it's fun.
Joshua Richter chiming in. Guess who's finna test this air fryer hot pocket right away?
Be safe.
Be safe. Go get a nice, little. Go have yourself a hot pocket. You'll feel like you're 19 years old again, back on winter break with the snow. Go for it. B Rose 931 rattled off his anxious series of questions. How do we replace Orlando Brown Jr. draft or free agency? I think definitely draft. Then he goes, how do you feel about losing Orlando Brown Jr. in quotation marks? Not great, Bob. Then could and should the Ravens sign Joe Thuney? We already addressed those. Orlando Brown as a whole, I'm excited. I want that extra pick. And draft picks, I'm of the firm belief that one in the hand is worth two in the bush in pertaining to players in the NFL, but
it's fun.
I want the fun. I want the content. I want the fun. I want the second first round pick. I want the draft season. Give it to us. Get some new blood. Let's filter this offense. Let's have a turnover offensively. Address it. Get a bunch of new blood.
For all the whining about the wide receiver position, well, here you go. Here's some draft capital to maybe like get a wide receiver or pass catcher high in the draft, or maybe you flip it into a pass catcher from another team, a more established guy. So going to be some shakeup. We can cry over spilled milk here all we want, but the fact is he doesn't want to be here. He's gone, and that's the end of it. So
roll with it. You got a premium player at a premium position. You're going to get some premium capital, or he's probably not going to get traded. And I do not want him to not get traded. If he is if this is a real thing, and it obviously is a real situation, I don't want him to not get traded. I want him traded tomorrow. Yeah. I want it over with. I don't want it to be this drawn out thing that's all we hear about, all the articles, all the questions are about. Let's do it. Let's turn it over, baby. I'm ready. God bless you, Orlando Brown. Have a great career, but I'm ready to get this thing going. Center options, the great Josh B. asked. I prefer Alex Mack or David Andrews or Corey Linsley. I also want Warren Jackson bad. Warren Jackson, coming from the low-key wide receiver factory, Colorado State University. Shout out to Boober Bomb.
Yeah, the Boober Bombs are just going to be flooding in here talking about LaVisca Chenault and all sorts of whatever else is going on.
Boober Bomb. That's Colorado.
That was Colorado, yeah.
They got Rashard Higgins. They got Preston Williams. They got
Crockett Gilmore. I mean, this is
they've got the receiver for the Vikings. What is his name? That one's slipping me. Had some low-key. He's like a low-key good wide receiver 3 for the Vikings.
Charles.
What is it?
Charles. I don't think it's Charles Johnson, but I just threw that out.
No, he has a wild name. Then they also had, did I say what? Preston Williams, Michael Gallup as well. All in the last few years. Warren Jackson is gigantic. He is fast. Honestly, give me him over Nico Collins.
Spicy.
I'm ready. David Andrews is a guy we didn't talk about. Yeah, I want him cheap. I want David Andrews cheap. I want Linsley. I don't want Alex Mack. I kind of don't want David Andrews. He had some blood clot issues or something, and just coming out of the stale stank of the Patriots, their kind of weird situation they had going on there. I don't know. I don't want any Patriots. I don't like the whole vibe that went on up there this season. I don't know. Weird and kind of dead in the eyes.
Yeah, it's just invasion of the body snatchers, just an empty husk, just shrugging its way through the AFC East. Yeah, it's Linsley or Alex Mack if you want to go cheap for me.
Alex Mack, I'm not totally versed on how much time he's missed and stuff, but was really high level at one point.
He had a bad leg break. I know that.
That can do it. Abdi A3, which OT do you think replaces Orlando Brown Jr. through the draft? Which do I think? I don't know. The tackle class is extraordinary. I'm not done with it at all, but I've read all the scouting reports of people that have, put in the groundwork already, and I'm getting through it. That's where I'm at right now. I'm really burning through these tackles. Dylan Radins, love Dylan Radins. Absolutely mobile, sturdy, technically extremely sound. Answered every question you had about him, coming from North Dakota State. Can he play against better competition? Yes. Is he big enough? Yes. Can he hold up against, bull rush, whatever? Yes. Technically outstanding. He was voted player of the week at the Senior Bowl. Tevin Jenkins is like Brock Lesnar if he was like good at football. Gigantic mauler. Jalen Mayfield I've already talked about. Liam Eichenberg, really solid. He played left tackle. So whatever. Samuel Cosme, another one. And this whole tackle convert thing I'm kind of sick of. So I kind of just want like Jalen Mayfield or someone who played right tackle. So that's not a whole conversation as well, but tons. James Hudson, Dante Smith, like there are tackles everywhere. I'm missing 3 that are like capable. I'm going to go ahead and say there will be 9 tackles drafted in this class that will be starting full time by the end of 2022. That'll be like, all right, or up all the way up to really good. This is a best tackle class I've seen in a long time. So not sure who, but I'm going to be writing a lot of articles on it. I have an article on Jalen Mayfield I'm finishing tonight, and that'll be out tomorrow. I am trying to I'm going to set a goal and try to apply myself. I kind of am winding down with the SIS scouting reports a little bit. Check out the SIS rookie handbook. I did a bunch of scouting reports for that for sure. But I would like to start putting one out a day. That's my goal. I'm probably not going to hit it, but I'm going to try for 1 article a day on Baltimore Beatdown, reviewing a prospect. I'm into the tackles right now, so if you want tackle content, head on over. Jalen Mayfield article will be out by the time you're hearing this, if you're listening to the podcast as opposed to live stream, so head on over there.
Boom.
Moving on. Last 2. Alex Smearman. How would Rondale Moore fit into the Ravens offense? Also, are you concerned about his injuries? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't attest to how concerned I am.
Yeah, you are.
Dr. King Schultz and my horse Fritz. I don't know about the injuries part. Rondale Moore, I have this. This is another quandary that I'm having. I like Devin Duvernay. I don't love Devin Duvernay. He has potential. I don't love potential. I don't want Devin Duvernay to stand in the way of acquiring someone who might be quote unquote a slot guy. Rondale Moore is a freaky deaky Dutchman. He is not actually Dutch, but he is a Boilermaker. One of the most electrifying players with the ball in his hands in this class. He has like a ridiculous 40-something inch vertical, can go up and get it. We didn't get to see him on the outside a lot. We didn't get to see a ton of jump ball catches, like that kind of stuff. But oh my God, that is a special athlete. At 27, I think that would be a pretty high volatility move. I'm here for it, and I like that fit a lot. I think that he opens up more yak. I think that he opens up more intermediate passing game stuff. I think that he can sneak deep on people, and he's a physical player, ultra competitive with the ball in his hands. More yak, more jet sweeps, more screens. That's what I'm about. Dunkin' Donuts, Coca-Cola draft picks. I like jet sweeps. I like screens. I like yak. So I like the fit. He is, and Garnett was joking around, gadget receiver. I like Tony a lot. I've talked about Tony, but Rondale Moore, if his medicals check out, that's a big one. So I like Rondale Moore a lot.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of like Devin Duvernay, but like more of like an actual real wide receiver. Not to be like knocking Duvernay too much, but it feels like he has more of the traits that is like required of the position. He's maybe a little more explosive.
Lateral quickness, he can really snap as opposed to Duvernay, who's kind of that glider.
He's got the suddenness a little bit that Duvernay doesn't. Played a ton of years, I feel like. So I don't know. I feel like he would slot in ready to go, but like you said, there maybe is that redundancy there. Maybe don't let the that redundancy hold you up. But it was a lot of slot stuff, so you maybe do have a little bit of a log jam. But
I think he had like 180 perimeter wide receiver snaps, and then the rest were all in the slot.
Yeah, I mean, he fucking cooked Ohio State a couple years ago, so he's fun to watch. I'd recommend checking out his highlights, if nothing else. Rondale Moore, fun player,
very fun. Finally, Anmal Singh 12. I'm scared GMs would rather have a first-round left tackle for $4 million a year than Brown for $20 million. Thoughts? First thought is that I don't blame that thought process in this incredible tackle class. As I just mentioned, I wrote about that and did some Senior Bowl wrap-up that took me way too long and whatever, but it's a dual-edged sword. You can go get the one in the hand, but there's like 15 in the bush. There's all those guys I just mentioned. There's plenty of options. It's some teams, the Rams. If the Rams wanted a left tackle, they would trade for Orlando Brown. Like it's a philosophical difference. I don't know how your teams are going to feel like that, but having that proven commodity feels like a win now thing. Like if the Colts found a quarterback or were comfortable with their quarterback situation, you have to think they would immediately part with their first round pick to get Orlando Brown. Like you want no learning curve.
Yeah, it's complicated. We'll get into it. I think
that's why the Dolphins make sense. They're sturdy and they have 2 first round picks, so they fit.
There's going to be a fucking deal in place to get one of those first round picks. And he's going to say, no, actually, I want to be protecting the blind side. So I'm going to have to play right tackle over there. And I'm not going to do that because I need to be a left tackle. So we're going to have to figure something else out.
They drafted Austin Jackson. Does he play on the left side? I think he wasn't playing at first.
Going to have to get Josh Houts back on here to talk some of this stuff through.
Joshy boy. Well, whatever. Maybe he's playing right tackle. I don't remember, but that would be, a team that's ready to win. They barely missed out on the playoffs. Tua probably making some strides. A lot of up and down talk, a lot of polarizing situation of Deshaun Watson and whatever. They also have draft ammo. What do they want to go get Orlando Brown and lock things up and have a franchise left tackle type, or would they rather take a shot with these young guys? And it feels like when you're ready to win and you want to win and you just missed out and have such a solid regime, good head coach, a lot of talent and good spots, you might just want Orlando Brown. So I don't know. I'm not in these rooms. I'm not having these phone calls, but have to think that a team like the Chargers, a team like the Dolphins, Chargers feel, let's get it going. We got the exciting coach. We have the talented quarterback, great defense, a couple more pieces, a little bit of money to spend. Get Orlando Brown, have him on his rookie contract. You can franchise tag him if you want at that point and try and extend him. So I think those teams would be good, strong options. And that's about that. This is the official, we'll get through these YouTube comments. After that, until there's real news on Orlando Brown, we're going to kind of glaze over that, I think.
Moratorium on Orlando Brown talk.
Moratorium on Orlando Brown being laid down after we get through the comments after this episode.
Okay. King Camp 21. How good is Kyle Pitts? He's Dustin Johnson, dude. It's the most obvious comparison of all time.
Boom.
Corey Grable. If we don't trade OBJ and he plays next year, then walks, will we get a 3rd round comp pick? I think so, but I think we can probably forget the idea of him suiting up for the Ravens.
There's no possible way that I think that there is not a chance in hell that they end up with a comp pick as a result of Orlando Brown.
Yeah, he gone.
They would theoretically, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. Garnett says, my guys, what's up, buddy? Zeem meets World. How are we feeling about Mike Williams and a 2nd rounder? Yeah, maybe.
Jim.
Tim Addis. Lamar would open up roster spots on an MLB team. He'd be the only outfielder you'd need. Yeah, you got to think he's faster than a lot of these guys.
There you go.
Marcus Chestnut, is it realistic to trade OBJ and a pick to the Seahawks for DK? No, they're not getting rid of DK Metcalf, I don't think. Baller 69 Brandon. If Humphrey, Vera Tucker, Bateman, and Tony are all on the clock, who is DaCosta putting on the card? He might go Bateman in that scenario.
I think definitely not Humphrey. Vera Tucker and Bateman would probably be close. Depends on, I don't know. I don't know what it depends on. If it was me, I'm going Bateman. I am obsessed with Bateman. I like Elijah Vera Tucker. Haven't completed him yet, but like a lot. Love Rashad Bateman. He's looking, I think I'm going to put him as my wide receiver too.
He's a big smooth boy. I like the way he moves.
He reminds me of, I like the way you move. He reminds me of, I saw Keenan Allen comp. I don't think that's perfect, but the ability to kind of work everywhere without being a super speed guy, but like also be a yak guy, a crafty yak guy that can run away a bit. I like that a lot.
He has a great brother, Bill, as well, who I like.
William Chicken Wing Bateman.
Bailey Kaniki, what's up, brothers? Looking clean as hell. Thank you. Kyle Barber says, oh, hi. William Bound says, yo. Evan Ash dropping in with a boober bomb. Bailey is drunk as hell out in Salisbury and says, sup, Kyle, go get that cookout, playboy. William Bounds looking for love in North OC. He's up in North OC, man. You gotta get down to the boardwalk, see if you can find some honeys tonight. Head down to H2O, see what the COVID protocol is down there.
The foam pit. Who cares? What's COVID?
Up in the cages, bro. Kyle Barber says, hi, buddy. Bailey says, Danny Ocean. Garnett says, hey, buddies. Bailey, William is disgusting. These clowns are going at it again, which I love to see.
There we go.
William says, no free ads. WB Caps. UGA grad here. We had Canes, Zaxby's, and Cookout essentially on the same block. God, I fucking love the South. He says, absolutely beautiful stuff, and he misses it in DC. William says, please pray for Bailey. Sundays are for more than football. Yes, they are. Who's Spenny's favorite gadget receiver? JK. Well, Garnett, to you, every receiver is a gadget receiver. So.
Rondell Moore.
Yeah. Bailey says, yo, that fat tire, clean as hell. Yeah, it really is clean as hell. They do a good job with their branding. It tastes good, too. When can I buy you boys some beers? Whenever you want, COVID compliant. I'm going to be getting that vaccine as soon as I possibly can. So we'll be doing some beers at some point soon. Jimmy Dean, do the Ravens go for an undersized edge? Not their normal play, but they did trade for unique. I have no idea. I don't know if they have a type really.
They like good players.
Yeah, we listen.
They like versatility. You gotta be able to do two things.
Bailey says Spenny owes me some drinks from our Giants game. What's the story there?
Don't recall, but all right.
Okay. Tim Addies, if Lamar went to the Orioles, could he turn them around too? It'd be tough, but I would say yes. William, Bailey sounds like a creep. Bailey comes back with William bet his 401k on the house and his wife divorced him. That's a tough story. Garnett says PFF and others don't think highly of him, so Bailey's just getting trashed on by PFF and everyone under the sun. Garnett says him not being mobile turns a lot of teams off, in my opinion. Who's he referring to here? I don't know. Mac Jones, I think.
Definitely Mac Jones.
William says it was all fine till Wall Street Bets squeezed me. That's tough. You got to watch out for those guys. Jimmy Dean says center is an overblown need. You were wrong. Dat Dude Shores says, would you give up Orlando Brown Jr. for less than the Jags' first pick in the second round plus late round?
I feel like every team pretty much knows it's a first rounder. Like you're gonna have to give up a first.
That's the baseline, or a starter. Tim Addies, Heineke from Washington to Pittsburgh. No, I think he sticks in Washington.
Heineke's had a lot of fun. Let's wait. If he plays more, then we'll start running with stuff like that.
We'll see. He's a meme right now. Jimmy Dean, Tyrell Williams is a deep threat. Lamar needs a route runner who could be reliable short and mid to pair with Andrews. We have enough deep threats. I don't know why I read that in the Family Guy Gregory Peck voice. It's Gregory Peck, you bitch. I'm going to punch you in the face. Cody McGowan says, hell yeah, lads. I'm a little late. Cheers. What's up? Bailey says, Jimmy Dean makes me frown. That's tough. That's where we got our George as DeCosta in the Ravens Lifetime movie, which was good. The Athletic had, then Cody McGowan says the Athletic had Mayfield mocked to Baltimore. So there you go.
I like that fit. Ben Bredesen just disappear. What's his stock looking like? Baller 69 Brandon.
What is Ben Bredesen's stonk looking like right now?
Me and Cole Jackson, we're gonna have Cole Jackson on the show once he's done with his offensive line reviews, and I've gotten through as well. We're talking about that, so we'd like to have him on at some point. Still haven't at this point, but we both love Cole, so we'll have him on at some point. Bredesen has like T-Rex arms, but I mean, I liked him at Michigan. He came in and played some jumbo and whatever. He's pretty much kind of got to play center. Again, another guard convert to center. So just like, stop. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Devin H, we deep in the chat. Spence, have you been scouting Amari Rodgers? Yeah, I've looked at Amari Rodgers a lot. I don't. There's some people who are talking about him moving to running back. I don't get that. He does not reminds you of Hollywood in the sense where he can run routes full speed, separates all across the middle field. I think he's a great slot receiver, well-rounded. Gonna be a nice. I like the perfect fit for him. For me is Green Bay. I think he was a really nice compliment to Devontae Adams and those big tall Lazards and Marquez Valdez-Scanlings, and I think that would be a nice spot for him. But with his father here, who knows? The old nepotism, and I don't think it would be unwarranted. I think Amari Rodgers is a really solid route runner and has great plucky hands. I like both him and Cornell Powell. I like Cornell Powell a little bit more in terms of just diversifying the portfolio at wide receiver, but I think Amari Rodgers probably goes before Powell. So could be a second round guy. Tore it up at the Senior Bowl, and you kind of see people overvalue. I might have talked about this on the show, but people kind of overvalue the one-on-ones, and like Des Bryant posted a video of guys winning in one-on-ones. It's like, yeah, I'd fucking hope so. You have no safety help, and like it is a receiver-centric thing. But then when you go down into the goal-to-go red zone, you give the defender the sideline, the boundary, the back line. They can be a lot more physical, and they have more help. And Amari Rodgers straight up was the best separator in the goal-to-go, which shows no wasted motion, can separate in a phone booth, and caught contested like tight catches, like someone kind of diving for the ball and his hands are just extended beyond theirs and the ball just sticks to his hands. So I like Amari Rodgers a lot. I think he's a solid day 2 guy. Okay. Travis Fulgham, Charm, Shark, Moore would be great. Bateman is Garnett's glass slipper. Bateman is the glass slipper at 27 for me. The ideal pick out of this draft. I'm having a tough time with Jamar Chase. I think a lot of people are. I don't think I'm alone in that. People are saying like, don't overthink him. I'm overthinking him. He just shoves people. Like he just shoves people out of the way. He's not like super sudden, but like he was doing it to SEC defensive backs. SEC defensive backs start in the NFL. He's going to shove NFL defensive backs around. He's insanely, like he catches every fucking pass. Like caught everything thrown at him. Super high catch rate, deep threat, great tracking, physical. Feels like that would be great too. So him, Pitts, if you trade up one of them slips, and then Bateman at 27. What else we got? Josh Richter, who's trying the air fryer. Hope that turned out well. Bateman carries Tony Sage Surratt. Yeah, some players there, and getting down to a couple more comments, and then William Bonds, fun stream, boys. Cheers to the weekend. That about wraps it up. Official moratorium on Orlando Brown has been laid down, and until there is further news, let's give over under. I'm going to give you an over under. When is Orlando Brown traded? We feel that it's imminent. Date. I'm going to give. I want to say post free agency.
Before.
You think before? Let's use. So should we make free agency the over under? Okay, let's do March. Is he traded before March?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
there's no combine. There's no need to wait to like network at the combine and like do all the meetings and stuff that they did. Like it's all Zoom. It's all over text. Like he wants it to get done. Ravens probably don't want to wait around. Other teams are going to heat up the market. Hot stove. I think it happens.
And what is the tackle market? Not great, right?
I don't think it's good.
I don't think there's a great free agent tackle. Conklin. There's no Conklin this year.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go with before as well. I think before free agency, someone locks it up, and that's their big free agency move. So we'll say by March, the Ravens have 2 firsts. I think that's where Jake and I are at. And that about wraps it up. We're heading on 2 hours. This is a monster mailbag. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the tweets, the comments, the Instagram questions. As always, we're here. We're having fun. Like I said, I'm trying to do a prospect a day. Jake and I are going to start. We're game planning on we want to do weekly positional draft breakdowns. We're probably going to get it started in like 2 or 3 weeks on this show. We've got some interviews lined up. We'll try and get some more. We usually get good interviews for draft season, so we'll try and get some of the usual suspects, hopefully Connor Rogers and Matt Waldman and some of those guys that have given us great insight. Emery Hunt, some of those other guys. So hopefully some of those, try and get some new blood in there, and we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I'm going to put a line out to each of those guys starting soon to get into all that. In the meantime, actually coming on Tuesday, we're not going to be talking to you guys on one of these type shows for another week because coming Tuesday, I do have my interview with John Feinstein coming, which was one of my favorite interviews I've probably done in a long, long time. John is an author of mine who has been a favorite growing up, great sports writer. He's located in the DC area, and he wrote a 2004 book called Next Man Up, where he basically did like an all or nothing style thing where he embedded himself with the 2004 Ravens and followed them. So I talked to him about that for over an hour. I got a lot of good insight on behind the scenes stuff with the front office, with the players at the time, a lot of good Jamal Lewis, Chris McAllister kind of chat. A lot of good stuff on Bishotti and Billick at the time. So it's really, really fun chat. Like I said, over an hour going to be dropping on Monday. So that's a fun one. I'm excited to share with you guys.
Hell to the yeah. So get us out of here, buddy.
Yep. So thanks for listening. Otherwise, you got that coming to you on Tuesday. Like I said, we'll be back in the studio this coming week. And in the meantime, you guys have yourselves a great weekend as we head forward into the off season. Oh, we got Ing Raven checking in. What's up, buddy? As we head into the offseason. Until then, subscribe to the show if you are not already on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review if you are so inclined. Follow us on social media. You can follow the show at Podcast Beatdown. You can follow me at Jake Luke. That is LOUQUE. You can follow Spenny at Ravens 4 Dummies. That's the number 4 in the middle there. And follow the main account at Be More Beatdown. Newly verified. Shout out to Kyle for making that happen. Check us out on Instagram as well at Baltimore_Beatdown, where Spenny's doing a great job posting a ton of stuff, and we're posting clips of the pod and everything. But like I said, you guys have yourselves a great weekend. We will talk to you again very soon. Stay safe and stay warm with all the freaking snow rolling in.
See ya.
Arrivederci.